Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajakacharya Ashtotarshat Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya So today we are reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 11, entitled Lord Ramachandra Rules the World, text number 23. Purusho Ramacharitam Shravanairupadharayan Anrishansya Paro Rajan Karma Bandhair Vimuchyate Purusho Ramacharitam Shravanairupadharayan Anrishansya Paro Rajan Karma Bandhair Vimuchyate Purusho Ramacharitam Shravanairupadharayan Anrishansya Paro Rajan Karma Bandhair Vimuchyate Mataji's. Ramacharitam Shravanairupadharayan Anrishansya Paro Rajan Karma Bandhair Vimuchyate Purusha, any person. Ramacharitam, the narration concerning the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ramachandra. Shravanai, by oral reception. Upadharayan, simply by this process of hearing. Anrishamsya para, becomes completely free from envy. Rajan, O King Parikshit. Karma bandhanai, by the bondage of fruitive activities. Vimuchyate, one becomes liberated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O King Parikshit, anyone who orally receives the narrations concerning the characteristics of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes will ultimately be freed from the disease of envy and thus be liberated from the bondage of fruitive activities. Purport. Here in this material world, everyone is envious of someone else. Even in religious life, it is sometimes found that if one devotee has advanced in spiritual activities, other devotees are envious of him. Such envious devotees are not completely freed from the bondage of birth and death. As long as one is not completely free from the cause of birth and death, one cannot enter the Sanatana Dharma, Sanatan Dhamma, or the eternal pastimes of the Lord. One becomes envious because of being influenced by the designations of the body. But the liberated devotee has nothing to do with the body, and therefore he is completely on the transcendental platform. A devotee is never envious of anyone, even his enemy. Because the devotee knows that the Lord is his supreme protector, he thinks, what harm can the so-called enemy do? Thus a devotee is confident about his protection. The Lord says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sathaiva bhajamyaham. According to the proportion of one's surrender unto me, I respond accordingly. A devotee must therefore be completely free from envy, especially of other devotees. To envy other devotees is a great offense, a Vaishnava aparad. A devotee who constantly engages in hearing and chanting, Shravana Kirtana, is certainly freed from the disease of envy. And thus he becomes eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. Om Ajnantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are towards the end of Lord Ramachandra's pastimes mentioned in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And these pastimes are very relishable by devotees, and they are very soothing for even non-devotees if they hear. So these pastimes of the Lord, whether Lord Ramchandra, Krishna or any other incarnation, they act in two ways. For those who are devotees, these pastimes are very relishing. They relish these pastimes and they consider these pastimes as their life and soul. But then those who are non-devotees, for them these pastimes act as medicine to cure their disease. There are so many symptoms of these disease. The main disease is the bodily conception. And in today's purport, Prabhupada emphasizes on one symptom of that disease, which is envy. But all these other symptoms like lust, anger, greed, they are basically there because of bodily designations, as Prabhupada puts it in the purport. They are influenced by the designations of the body. So because of all these designations, one is trying to become the greatest enjoyer in this world. And they are not enjoying at all. They are just trying to enjoy. So that is the problem. This whole material world is compared to an ocean. And someone is drowning and someone is afloat. So what is considered, how do you consider that if someone is drowning in this ocean of material existence? If you ask people and they would say, I have so much wealth, and they would say, I am sorted, I have made it in this world. I have so much bank balance, there is no dearth of any possessions, I can buy anything. So they think they are afloat, they are floating, cruising in this ocean. But actually they are drowning. Material ocean is not, you can't have a pleasure ride in the material ocean. It's actually not even a proper ocean, it's a, what do you call, a swamp? Sorry. Yeah, so it's not like a very clear water ocean, it's very dirty. And the dirt is of the three modes of material nature. So they are actually drowning in this ocean. So more material designations, more materialistic possessions they have, people are actually drowning. And drowning in material ocean means repetition of birth and death. So if you want to get your head above the surface, we have to, for doing that, we have to actually inquire about our real position, constitutional position. And what is our sambandha with the Supreme Lord. And that's when these different processes of yoga start. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, Ashtanga yoga and Bhakti yoga. Yoga means linking up. You're trying to get your head above the surface of this material ocean, and you should inquire, what is my relation to the Supreme Lord and to the material energy? How come I'm here? So that's why Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is there, and all these pastimes are there in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. But these pastimes can be very bewildering. Kunti Maharani in her prayers, she mentions this fact that although the Supreme Lord performs his pastimes, but they are very bewildering. In one prayer she says, Janma karma cha vishvatman ajasya karturatmanaha. The birth and the activities of the soul of the universe. So she is calling Lord as the Vishwatman, soul of the universe. So we know there are three types of Vishnus. The Kshirodakshai Vishnu, he is the super soul within each living entity's heart. Then there is Garbhodakshai Vishnu, he is the super soul of the whole universe. But then there are so many universes. So Mahavishnu is the super soul of the all collective universes. So that's Vishwatman. Kunti Maharani is saying, Janma karma cha Vishwatman ajasya karturatmana. So first she mentions that Janma, you have your Janma or birth or appearance, but actually you are ajasya, unborn. So how can unborn take birth? So that's very bewildering. And akartu, you have no activities. One who has no activities, but you seem to perform so many activities. So all these things are very bewildering. And then she mentions, you appear in this world in different forms. Tiryang nirishu yadasu. You appear in incarnations, which are, some of them are in animal form. Any examples, you know, when Lord comes as animal? Nrsimhadev, that's half man, half lion, half animal. What's any full animal form? Boar, Lord Boar, Shukara, Varahadev. That's not exactly animal, because there's Kunti Maharani's categorization is a bit different. So we'll come to that. So next categorization is Naralila, in human-like pastimes. Any examples from what we are reading? Lord Ram, then Krishna, Lord Balaram, so many. And within the human category of incarnations, even more bewildering are those human-like incarnations which appear as a devotee. So that's Advaita Acharya, Nityanand Prabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They're all Vishnu Tattva. They appear in a human form, but they are devotees also. So that's even more bewildering. And then Rishi, Kunti Maharani says, there is another category. Lord comes as a Rishi, saint, or a sage. Nar Narayan Rishi. And then Yadasu, aquatics. So we have Matsya and Kurma. So all these forms are there. Tad atyanta vidambanam. Kunti Maharani is saying, this is very bewildering. You are coming in so many forms, and then we hear that you have a form in spiritual world as well. The original, the Swami Bhagavan. So, although Kunti Maharani is not bewildered herself, but she is praying like that. Because Lord's appearance and activities are apparently bewildering. For pure devotees, there is no bewilderment. They fully know that Krishna is our life and soul and He is the protector. So for them there is no bewilderment. But in her prayer she is taking a humble mood. In another prayer she says, oh, how can I understand you? How can we understand? You can be understood by Paramhamsas, Tatha Paramahamsanam, Muni Nam Amal Atmanam, those who are pure, they can understand you. Katham Pashyema Hi Sriya, I am just a woman. Women are, in Shastra they say women are not very philosophical, all deep. Shastra they can't understand. But then, what's Kunti Maharani's position? In Nectar of Devotion, in the section where Vatsalya Ras is mentioned, there is ranking among the Vatsalya devotees. Number 1 is Yashodamai. And so Brajvasis come on the top. And Kunti Maharani is ranked within top 7 or 8. So her position is so high that she is a Nitya Siddha devotee, but still she is, exhibiting herself as a very low personality, that, oh, I can't understand you. But she understands. Her prayers are being sung by so many devotees still. So Lord's pastimes are very bewildering. So Lord Ramchandra is very popular, especially in India and even outside of India. But people don't understand Lord Ram's pastimes. How was he, although he is Supreme Lord, but why did he suffer so much? He had to be banished, exiled, and then he had to save his kidnapped wife. So many other problems. So this is the nature of bewildering pastimes. But pure devotees totally understand the pastimes of the Lord. So they are not at all bewildered. So in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, we have proper description, an ecstatic description by Shukdev Goswami of all these pastimes. So we can come to that level and understand fully and be nourished. Mat chitta madgata prana bodhyanta parasparam kathayantascha maam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So pure devotees always discuss topics of Supreme Personality of Godhead and they relish it. They derive everything from these narrations. We don't need anything else outside of this discussion. Sometimes neophyte devotees think that our spiritual practices are one thing, but for our emotional needs, we need something else. Outside of spiritual practice, outside of chanting and hearing. So this is a big misunderstanding. So emotional needs cannot be fulfilled on the material platform. Material, physical or mental or intellectual platform. So thinking that something apart from Bhagavatam will satisfy us emotionally is a big mistake. What do people do for emotional satisfaction in this world? Any examples? So your emotions are fully satisfied. What do people do generally on material world? Friends. So having friends, friendly relationship. Any other relationships? Every relationship. We are trying, on material level, we try to have relationships to have our emotions fulfilled and physical needs fulfilled. But are people fulfilled on emotional level or physical level? It's not possible. How can a mortal being fulfill you fully? It's not possible. They don't have that capacity. They don't have that power. They may desire to do that, but it's not possible. We can only be satisfied when we connect to Krishna. So people are trying to connect emotionally in various relationships, family and friends and relatives, and then sooner or later there is a problem in that relationship. One part of the relationship is very pleasurable, but other part is miserable. The example is of the sweet rice mixed with sand. You eat the sweet rice, there is some sweet taste, but then there is some not so desirable taste. So same way in the material world. There are parents and children. So children, when they are young, they say, oh, parents provide everything. They provide food and whatever we need, toys. They take us to vacation. Everything they provide. But then, when parents are old, they become burden. So that's that they don't want that. So kids thought parents would always provide us. But now we have to take care of them when they are old and sick. That's very troublesome. So that's how in material world, happiness is mixed. It doesn't come by itself. So there is no perpetual or everlasting emotional satisfaction. So because we are materially so-called advanced, so they think, now problem has come, we want to find a solution to that. Because we are scientifically advanced. So what is the solution they have found to this old, sick people who are parents? Aged care. So we designed a nice aged care. All facilities are there. So this is our advancement. And then there's the couples. They have they want their emotional satisfactions. For some time it's fine, and then there are arguments and familiarity. So what's the scientific modern solution for that? Divorce. So basically, the materialist would never actually say that, oh yes, I'm defeated. No, they will say we have solution, or we are trying to find the solution. We'll never be defeated. We'll never admit that we are defeated. Either we have the solution or we are about to find the solution. For anything, we are competent. So so who has been fully satisfied by all these so-called solutions? No one. But because this is Kali Yuga, people are so dumb and becoming more and more dumb that they actually buy in to these propaganda of so-called scientists, atheistic scientists. Not all scientists are atheists, but those who are atheists and out atheists, they should be properly criticized. So in one, I was reading one very popular journal, which was actually first founded in 1870s, long time back. So they have their mission statement that we will publish latest research for the betterment of your lifestyle. So, according to their mission statement, they say that we are committed to publish this journal, which is the finest, and it is peer-reviewed research in all fields of science and technology, on the basis of originality, importance, interdisciplinary interest, timeliness, accessibility, elegance, and surprising conclusions. Sounds so impressive. So their latest research, they found a new solar system, and new stars are being born. And they said, we were actually looking for this. Researchers have long sought such system to help us understand the beginnings of our own, because they are trying to find the origin of life and origin of this universe. So their methods are experimental. They are trying to experiment. It's called the Aroha Pantha. Aroha means you experiment and try to find something. What is the source of something? And our method is Avaroha. We hear from the Parampara and we accept it, because the members of the Parampara have our best interest in their heart. But these so-called atheist scientists may not have our best interest in their heart. They may just want research money, so their sense gratification can continue. So using both ground and space-based telescopes, a team has zeroed in on a young star. The young star is born, and they have done the name-giving ceremony also. And the name of that new star is HOPS 315. Very attractive name. So all these word jugglery and arrangement of sentences are there to bewilder. Manda sumand mateo, manda bhagya upadruta. The Kali Yuga population is manda, very dumb and easily misdirected by these cheaters, because they want to be cheated. They just want sense gratification, so-called atheists, scientists and leaders provide so many means for this temporary gratification. And they are dulled by that, because they want to be dulled. So those minority of Kali Yuga population who want to get out of it, they have all the means also through these narrations of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So here Prabhupada mentions one of the greatest enemy of a progressive devotee, which is envy. Ichha dvesha samuthena dvandva mohena bharata. That was the first reason why we came to this material world, was envy. We wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna, and we developed envy for his directions, his instructions. So that is one reason why we don't want to hear Krishna Katha. If someone glorifies us, we can hear for a long time. But someone glorifies Krishna or his devotees, then it becomes a bit boring after some time, because of this envy in our heart. So what is the cure? This is the medicine itself. Even if we feel bored or disinterested or not very enlivened while hearing Bhagavatam, we should still hear it, because this is the medicine. When a doctor gives you a medicine, you don't say it has to be palatable. Whatever it is, if you have a disease, you take it, because it's the prescription. So prescripted medicine for cure of these anarthas within the heart is hearing of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. In first canto it says, Yasyam vai shruyamanayam Krishne parama purushe bhaktir utpadyate pumsam shok moh bhayapaha. All these enemies, shok, moh, lust, anger, greed, all these will be eradicated by hearing about Krishna, Parama Purushe. This one verse actually has all three main aspects of bhakti. Sambandha, abhideya, prayojan. Our relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the process of hearing and chanting, yasyam vai shruya manayam, Krishna parama purushe, and then bhakti utpadyate. There, the bhakti and the pure love, utpadyate actually means is produced within the heart. Bhakti is not produced in one sense, so it's not literal. It's already there, but it's covered. So by process of hearing and chanting, it is uncovered. It's not produced, it's already there. Nitya Siddh Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabhu Naye Shravan Adi Shuddha Chitte Karaye Udaye. It arises within the heart. It's already there. Nitya Siddh Krishna Prem. It's already there. Krishna Prem is there within our heart. So by hearing and chanting, it is uncovered. We have that example if you have this bulb and you cover it with a translucent film of a different color. So the light would become a bit dim. And more layers you put on top, the light would be even dimmer. So same way, our Krishna Prem is very dim at the moment because there are coverings of this lust, anger, greed, envy. So more we clear it and clean it, the love of Krishna would actually shine fully. So Prabhupada says here, this envy leads to Vaishnava aparad. To envy other devotees is a great offense, a Vaishnava aparad. But usually we hear Vaishnava aparad as the blasphemy to a devotee. What's wrong in just keeping it within the heart? We are not saying anything. Just keep it within. So there is mental offense, and the verbal offense and physical offense. We hear that. So what's in the heart or mind, it will eventually come out in words and then through your body. It doesn't stay. It increases. It won't just stay there. So that's why we have to clean it or cut it and uproot it totally, fully. You shouldn't keep even little bit envy. So how to get rid of this envy? We just have to appreciate other devotees and glorify. So when we glorify other devotees, that's actually the proper way to address this problem of envy. We envy someone because they have something better than us. So why not just appreciate them? That you have this thing better than me, or this skill better than me, you serve Krishna better than me, so please also tell me how you do that. So that way we can learn from each devotee. And not even devotee, we can learn from everyone else. Everyone has something better than us, some skill or something. So we can learn from them. And that way we can continually improve by this association with others. So due to envy, we try to pull others down and show that, oh, we are better. You know how you have heard the example of how they catch crabs. They have a basket, but they don't put a lid on it. They put all the crabs. They know they won't be able to escape, because if one crab is trying to escape, others will pull him down. So they don't put a lid. They just put all the crabs in there and they would stay there. So this is envious mentality. We don't want others to rise. We want to pull them down, blaspheme them, or create some obstacle in their path. So this is very bad. This is actually a exaggerated or a more developed roop of the form of envy. First it's in the heart, then we may speak something bad about some other devotee to someone else, and then when it increases even more, we may say it on their face. And then the next level is you try to put some obstacle in someone's service. So it can just become worse and worse. So better just stop it at the level when it's in your heart and you can appreciate other devotees. So we have example from Chaitanya Leela in which devotees were working so hard for King Prataparudra so that he can meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to meet, he was the king of Orissa, he wanted to meet the king, but Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not want to see him because he was a strict sannyasi. So then devotees were appealing, Nityanand Prabhu, Ramanand Rai, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, all these devotees, they didn't have to do it. They could just, do their bhakti and leave it at that. But they wanted King Prataparudra to meet Mahaprabhu. So they said, okay, if you can't meet him, at least give him your cloth, your tadiya vastu. Whatever belongs to the Lord is also totally spiritual. So Mahaprabhu agreed and he gave him his outer garment. And then one time they brought King Prataparudra's son, who was very young, and he almost looked like Krishna. He was dressed in a nice dress and he looked like Krishna, and Mahaprabhu embraced him. So son is considered, part of body of the father. So that way, for the time being, King Prataparudra was satisfied. But devotees told King Prataparudra that actually Lord will see you, and not only see you, he will touch you. And that's what happened later on. So in this pastime we can see that how devotees were working so hard for the benefit of other devotee. But if we are always thinking about our pleasure, our service in a very selfish way, then there's not much room for expansion. So we should always think how we can help others to improve their service. So one level is to put some obstacle in the way of some other devotee. And if better than that is just, stay at a distance. If you have envy for some other devotee, better than putting obstacle in their path, better just stay away. Best is, of course, to help others to improve their service. So these are different levels. So by performing Bhakti Yoga, we can fully relish ourselves and help others also. So regarding the emotional needs, I was talking about that. So in Bhagavatam, we will by reading Bhagavatam and hearing Bhagavatam, all our needs will be fulfilled because Krishna is the source of all rasa. Rasa means relationship. By these different relationships, we are trying to have full heart satisfaction, but Krishna is the reservoir of rasa. Raso vai saha. The third verse of first chapter of first canto, Rasam Alayam. He is the place where all rasa originates. So if we connect to Krishna, especially by hearing Bhagavatam, then we can derive that rasa or full emotional satisfaction. We don't need anything else. Everything is there within Bhagavatam to satisfy us. So it seems to be very strange. How can a book, give us emotional satisfaction? So if throughout our life we read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam through various phases in life, then we'll see how Bhagavatam helps. In different situations, Bhagavatam has story for everything. All difficulties. So many pastimes are there. Somewhere someone's husband dies, somewhere someone's son dies. So all these things are given and through a very ecstatic description. And when we read and hear all these things, we can understand how we are part of Krishna's pastimes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that I am the gardener of this tree of devotional service, and I want to become the tree also, so that I can produce so many fruits and distribute. So we have this Bhadra Purnima coming up on 7th of September. So we have devotees have been distributing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam sets as much as possible. We shouldn't think that it's the responsibility of those one or two Matajis who already distribute so many sets. So our work is done by them. So we have to do our part. No one can chant for you, or no one will eat for you. Everyone has to fly their own plane. So if you want to also access the Sankirtan ecstasy, so we have to make our humble attempts also, in some way or the other, by telling everyone about this campaign of Bhadra Purnima and how from Bhagavatam we can get all our satisfaction. And now it's not it's not expensive at all, just $300, around $16 per book. There are 18 books. I remember when I got first time the set of Bhagavatam, long time back, 18 years back or something, it costed around $600, $650 that time. So now price should increase after 20 years. It has decreased to half. How is that happening? So we should take advantage and tell as many people in our Bhakti Vriksha groups and wherever we meet people. Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna Updesh. So that way we can be a part of Sankirtan movement and relish this emotional exchange by hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So I would like to end there and see if you have any questions or comments on what we discussed. Hare Krishna. This mic.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the nice class. Prabhu, you were talking about envy, so I wanted to ask, can there be ever a competition without envy as a factor to it? Like we see in schools, even when we try to ignore these so-called competitions in our classes, this attitude sometimes leads to the inefficiency in our studies. So how can we maintain the right attitude while maintaining the efficiency in our studies?
So this is the real study of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, and what we study in our school, the other school, this is also a school. So this is the main study. Other study is called, Prabhupada called it Shilpa Kala, technical education. So there, that's second priority. So we should just go to school and study as much as required to get good marks and not get into it emotionally. Emotional involvement should be with Śrīmad Bhāgavatam study. That study is there to live in this world, whatever is required, So there you do your best, and that study is also for Krishna's pleasure. A student should think that I'm doing my duty, and whatever is material duty is there for, as much as required. We shouldn't invest our emotion and, fully. We should do it in the best way so that we have time for Krishna consciousness. Not less, not more. Like that. We cannot neglect it. Otherwise we have to repeat the year and waste more time. So better, do it nicely and finish it. But we shouldn't compete with other students there that, I have to get good marks than that person. There is no end to that sort of material competition. There will always be someone better. In Bhakti studies, everyone is a winner. There is no losers. In material world, there is always competition, which actually leads to so many problems. So there we shouldn't invest our heart. Do it as much as required.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Is Mataji there?
Hi Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. So my question was that sometimes we hear some devotees and they may be critical of some other devotees for whatever reason, and it can be very putting off. So how do you kind of then try to, then becomes, it's kind of a struggle to appreciate them, or it's, you're just put off. So how to deal with that?
So constructive criticism can be given by gurus, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Gurus, to their disciples, and by the managers to those who they are managing. But apart from that, if we hear any criticism, we shouldn't be in that place. We have heard that if we hear someone blaspheme, we should leave that place. That's the best option. As soon as you hear something, I remember Kadamba Kanan Maharaj mentioning that if you are talking to someone or you are with a group of devotees, as soon as you hear little bit some critical comment about a devotee who is not present there, your ears should be very alert and just leave that place as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will affect our bhakti. So we will be part of that blasphemy. So we should leave that place and avoid that downfall.
Thank you.
Any other question or comment? Okay, thank you very much. Granth Raj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.